croeso nôl, welcome back, thanks for joining me. You will, I'm sure, have heard of Wales being described as the land of legend. Well, for today's vlog, we're going to have a look at what I consider to be our greatest legend. We're here at Dinas Emrys.
Oedd gen I syniad yng nghefn mhen o sut oedd bywyd fod I fynd, ond erbyn hyn dwi'n sylweddoli fod na fwy o liw I byd na du a gwyn. Di dysgu fyw I barchu'r gwir fel fethau o'n I o gelwydd e ffôl. Gymryd be dwi'n gael, a roi o hyd yn hael, a byw e ddisgwyl cael bob beth yn ôl. Weithiau mae hi'n anodd bod yn gryf, weithiau haws i'w nofio hefo chi, a byw y bywyd tawel a distŵr, heb godi crychau yn y dŵr. Haws i'w bod yn hollol fyd, yn lle sefyll dros ein hawliau ni o hyd, a'r nofio yn ddigynnwch a distŵr, fel brigyn bychan yn y dŵr, fel brigyn yn y dŵr, fel brigyn yn y dŵr.
Right, so Dinas Emrys. What does that mean? What does that name mean? Dinas is simple enough. We hear it today being used for the term city, but it wasn't always that. It comes from the word din, which in ancient times referred to a fortress or a fort, many of them around Wales. Now, as for Emrys, well, we need to go back in time of kings, sorcerers, wizards, warlords and mystical creatures. And a bit of a clue here on this bench. Anyway, onwards, and we'll tell you a little bit more about it.
Cael llwyfan yn mob man, arweinwyr gladau siarad man. Weithiau mae hi'n bwysig codi llais, mewn byd sy'n llawn anhegwch gos bathrais, yn lle byw y bywyd tawel a distŵr, fel brigyn bychan yn y dŵr, fel brigyn yn y dŵr.
So, this legend starts back in the 5th century, and it starts with the Brenin Gwrtheyrn, or as you may know him, King Vortigern. Now, Gwrtheyrn was the king of the Britons and a mighty warlord, always in battle. However, for this legend, we go back to the battle, the fight he picked with the Picts of the Scottish. Now that's never a good idea. Never a good idea. Don't start a fight with the Scottish. Think of Bonnie Prince Charlie, Rob Roy, William Wallace. Wallace means Welshman, by the way, but he's still Scottish, clearly. But yeah, never wise to start a fight with the Scottish. Years that Guthain hadn't had this advice, did have the benefit of our hindsight and pick a battle with the Picts that he did. And it wasn't long before he was getting his backside whooped, as could be predicted. So rather than admit defeat, he sent a message across the water and struck a deal with the Saxons, promising them if they came over and helped him take on the Picts, that he would give them land in the south of what's now known as England. So over they came and began to fight alongside him. However, it wasn't long before they demanded more land. Refusing to give them more land, the Saxons sided with the Picts and turned on Vortigern, on Gwythain. Clearly by now he was heavily outnumbered and in danger of being completely obliterated. So in order to avoid the Saxon army, Gwythain and his men came here to this small mountain in the southern part of Snowdonia, Eryri. On arrival, he instructed his soldiers to build a fort. They got about their work and raised the walls high on the first day. However, on waking the following morning, all the walls had fallen down. They raised them again, mystified as to what had happened. But again, on the second morning, down came the walls. And this happened again for the third time. Gwythain, mystified, called a council of his wise men and his sorcerers and his wizards, and they got about and they were all scratching their heads and wondering what happened. In the end, they came up with a solution. And the solution was that he needed to find a small boy who was without a human father. An immaculate conception, for the want of a better word. The soldiers were dispatched the length and breadth of Wales, and they came across a young man called Dinas Emrys. Dinas Emrys was brought to Gwythain, to the land of the fort, and was told that he would be sacrificed in order to appease the pagan gods so that the walls wouldn't fall down. Myrddin, fearing for his life, thought hard about it, and he came up with a solution for Gwythain. He informed Gwythain that he should instruct his soldiers to dig down into the belly of the mountain, telling him that inside the belly of the mountain was a huge cavern, and inside that cavern a lake. Besides the lake lay a huge stone chest, and inside that chest lay two sleeping dragons, one white and one red. Myrddin went on to explain that at night those dragons rose into the sky and began to fight with each other. Such was the ferocity of the two beasts in mighty battle that the earth shook, and it was this that caused the fortress walls to fall. Rid yourself of the dragon and your fortress will stand strong, informed Myrddin. Now, once the dragons had been disturbed in the chest, they woke and they flew up high into the sky where they were involved in a ferocious battle. Initially, the white dragon got the better of the red dragon, drove it to the floor injured. It rose again. Once more, they were involved in battle. This time, the red dragon was again badly injured and it fell crashing to the floor. Summoning its last bit of strength and willpower, the red dragon rose for a third time and fought as hard as he could. And on this occasion, he defeated the white dragon, which was sent scurrying off into the distance, never to be seen again. In the meantime, the badly injured red dragon went back into the belly of the mountain and let it tend to its wounds. After all this had happened, Gwythain said to Myrddin, "What does all this mean? What's just happened? What does all this mean?" And Myrddin said to him, "The white dragon represents the Saxons. It represents your enemies. And the red dragon represents Wales. And the red dragon will always rise and defend the Welsh." So happy was Gwythain with Myrddin's contribution that he named this castle after him, and it became known as Dinas Emrys. But who was Myrddin Emrys? You all know who he is. We've all heard of him, we've all seen him. But you might know him as Merlin. Merlin the magician. So there you are, that's the legend of Dinas Emrys, and why I have the red dragon on my hat here representing Wales, and why we have the red dragon on our flag. The greatest flag in all the world, in my opinion.
Sut oedd bywyd hwn i fod, ond erbyn hyn dwi'n sylweddoli fod rhaid cymryd bob un dydd fel mae o'n dod.
Right, I hope you enjoyed that legend. It is one of my favourites, it has to be said. So, yeah, the walk itself, it's relatively straightforward, to be honest. There's a little bit of a scramble at the end, last 100 metres or so. So you do need to be fairly agile. You won't make it here if you've got any mobility issues. So where is it? Where is Dinas Emrys? Let's go through that. We're about 2 miles outside Beddgelert. Beddgelert means Gelert's grave, the site of another famous Welsh legend. Unfortunately, we haven't got time for that today, but if you ever come down here, you can easily do both in a day because it's quite a short walk. So we're at the southern end of a valley known as Nant Gwynant. That's a strange one, isn't it? Nant appears twice in that name, Nant Gwynant. Well, in Welsh, Nant has two meanings. It can either mean a valley or a stream or a brook. So on this occasion, it's the valley of the White Stream, Nant Gwynant. National Trust car park here, plenty of parking, and the path overall is pretty good. The car park is at a place called Craflwyn. So if you put Craflwyn Hall into your sat nav, it'll get you there. Craflwyn means garlic grove. Craf means wild garlic, and Lwyn or Llwyn are bushes or a grove, a bush grove. So yeah, garlic, wild garlic grove here in Nant Gwynant. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. There's a chance that many of you have heard the tale before, but that's my telling of it anyway. So diolch yn fawr. Consider liking and subscribing if you wish. Hit the notifications for the next one. And diolch am ymuno, thanks for joining. Hwyl am y tro.
Oedd gen I syniad yng nghefn fy mhen o sut oedd bywyd fod I fynd, ond erbyn hyn dwi'n sylweddoli